There's a whole nother living world under the water that's living in the seagrass that nobody ever sees. There's all kind of interesting critters in there. I've made a living on the water my entire life. I've been in the shrimping industry, ran tugboats. I was a fly fishing guide. I designed stand-up paddle boards for fly fishing. I designed stand-up kayaks for fly fishing. I used to go soft shelling right here in front of the house. In fact, I dated my wife here when she was 14 and I was 16. We started dating. And for a date, we'd go out and go soft shelling. And it wasn't anything to get 40 or 50 soft-shell crabs because they were shedding in the seagrass because it gave them protection. They shed the old shell, and the new shell is bigger, but it's soft at first. So they got to be somewhere where they're protected or something's going to eat them. Everything wants to eat a soft-shell crab, including me. My wife got sick. So I started taking people on tours up in the Mobile-Tensaw Delta. Spent a lot of time showing people how important that delta is and what it means to everybody and everything, and how sensitive it is and how we need to take care of it and preserve it.
I have been interested in marine science and environmental science for as long as I can remember. My dad's a wildlife biologist, so naturally I kind of fell into this line of work. I'm the staff scientist at Mobile Baykeeper. Mobile Baykeeper is a 27-year-old environmental nonprofit group. We work to defend and revive the coastal waters of Alabama. Seagrass, or other submerged aquatic vegetation, is very similar to grass that grows on your lawn in some ways, and then it's very different in other ways. The main difference is that they are completely submerged underwater. It's amazing how many species that seagrass can support. Anything from redfish and speckled trout, which are really important recreational species for the fishing community, but they also support other things that are a little more quirky and unique, like pipefish and seahorses. And then they support really big things like manatees, rays, and sea turtles as well.
Seagrass is one of the most important things we have because everything depends on it. It's the nursery grounds for the seafood we eat, the shrimp, the crabs, the fish. Everything grows up in the delta.
That has economic benefits to our seafood industry. 98% of commercial seafood species spend a portion of their lives in estuaries. So it's critical to have nursery-like habitats like seagrass beds in place to support generations of fish and then generations of people that make a livelihood off of fishing. Since the 1950s, we have seen a pretty significant decline in our submerged aquatic vegetation, around 80% decline.
We had seagrass all up and down this eastern shore. The reason people first built piers was to get out past the seagrass so they could swim. Now it's all gone. We don't have any seagrass.
Working to prioritize investing in that restoration is super important.
These are really important islands for habitat, but they're important islands for recreation, right? A lot of people come down here and hang out. Boats packed.
You can see lots of boats out, paddle boarders, and all sorts of water sports that happen in this area. What we're doing today is kind of laying the groundwork for a really big restoration project. There's Bird, Walker, and Robinson Island, and they make up the lower Perdido Islands just north of Perdido Pass here near Orange Beach. If you notice, this area, there's a lot of development, but the islands are, natural. And we want to make sure to maintain that because it's kind of like a little refuge. So our main goal of this project is to definitely maintain recreational space while improving the habitat for all of the birds and benthic invertebrates.
This is shoal grass, really complex root and rhizome system. It really holds the sod together. And then we just take the sod, scoop a hole for it, and put it back in the bottom, nice and even with everything around it. And these plants will start spreading and growing probably within a week.
We are laying out several 10 by 10 meter plots with 16 smaller planted areas for the seagrass, and basically over time the planted sods that we have here will expand and hopefully just help out the edge of the seagrass, make it expand even farther.
When people run through the seagrass beds and they make a propeller scar with their propeller, it creates kind of a trench, and it makes one continuous habitat into multiple fragments. We have a low-tech method to sort of restore those propeller scars, and we put bird sticks out. So you can see all of these pelicans, they love it. Birds come and settle on them, and they're resting and they're hanging out, and they go to the bathroom. Their waste is rich in nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus. We want it to just get enough so that it kind of gets it going and gives it enough so that it can grow faster. And what we found is when we put these out and these birds come and sit on them, within a year, the propeller scar will be completely gone and you will not be able to see it. The problem that we have in this area is that it's become a game of whack-a-mole. As many as we put out, next year we come back, we find more.
There's other historic reasons why we've seen declines in these vegetative species. So a lot of that has to do with manipulation of our environment, dredging in the bay, shipping channel dredging, dredging for relic oyster reefs, for shell mining, that have really changed the landscape of our bay system and contribute to turbidity issues and loss of habitat. We have hardened 30 to 45% of our shorelines in coastal Alabama, which further contributes to shoreline erosion. We continue to dramatically and aggressively develop, especially in places like Baldwin County, which is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Alabama.
Well, the population in Baldwin County is booming.
The 2020 U.S. Census data ranking Baldwin County as the 7th fastest growing metropolitan area in the country and the fastest growing county in Alabama.
All 14 municipalities in this county grew by double-digit rates.
A lot of passionate thoughts about Baldwin County's rapid growth.
Cookie cutter houses. Yeah, so it's like this, but over and over and over again, everywhere on the eastern shore. And it's short-term impact, but when you have it happening so repeatedly and so aggressively, you know, it compounds, and it's not such a short-term impact. Here's this storm drain again. Just sediment up to the brim there. Those green things are like sediment socks, water socks. It's supposed to reduce the flow of things and catch things, but it's not supposed to look like that. That's not how you use that tool. No, none of these QR codes take you to where they say that they're supposed to take you. It just takes you to their main page on their website. So let me try another one. Contractor Stormwater Orientation Program. Let's try that one. Nope, that takes you right back to their homepage again. Maybe this one? EPA stormwater information, fingers crossed. Nope. Well, this is super helpful information. Those QR codes don't take you anywhere except their homepage of their website.
One of the biggest problems really is overgrowth. We've roofed and paved everything, and that's the reason we get all this runoff. It used to be when it rained, the water was absorbed back into the soil and went back into the aquifer. But now we cement and, pipes and whatever way they can get rid of it.
The reason it looks like this is because of the construction sites we saw. It's really difficult for things like seagrass and other vegetation to get enough light to survive. It's too turbid for them. Just like any plants that grow on the land, seagrass needs sunlight to grow. That means there needs to be clear water that allows that sunlight to get through to the bottom.
Without clear water, the grass can't grow. It's pretty simple. If you spread a tarpaulin over your grass in your yard, without sunlight, without photosynthesis, the grass isn't going to grow. And you could pull the tarp up and plant some new grass and put the tarp back down. It can't grow without photosynthesis, without sunlight. Well, it's the same thing with the bay right here in front of my house. It hadn't been here in, 60 years probably. There's been spots every now and then that try to, but it disappears because the water gets so muddy. The seagrass used to hold the silt and sediment down. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg. You can't have an egg without a chicken, and you can't have a chicken without an egg. You can't have seagrass without clear water, and you can't have clear water without seagrass. So it's pretty simple. But if somebody can figure out how to grow seagrass without photosynthesis, without sunlight, that would solve the problem. But I don't think it's possible. The way I look at it, we're stealing from future generations. Because just like my grandkids, they don't know what they lost because they never had it. Does that make sense?
The everyday person can make some really small changes that can help in big ways, because once you and your neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor starts to make these changes, it adds up. One of those things is to not support really poor developmental practices, not to buy homes from national developers who do not use best management practices to keep sediment and water on site. And if you happen to live on waterfront property, considering transitioning any hardened seawall into softened vegetative shoreline or living shorelines, this creates habitat. It's self-sustaining, and it will protect your shoreline much longer. Something that would make a huge difference is for the state of Alabama to choose to invest in this important resource. 98% of commercial seafood species depend on estuary habitats, and that includes seagrass beds. We don't want to count ourselves out of that important economic opportunity.
Putting an anchor on the edge of this grass and then snorkeling through it, you will see so many things. You'll see fish, you'll see crabs, you see the birds flying. I've seen osprey go fly and catch a fish. So you're a nature lover, you love grass, it's the best.
We need to try to leave something better for the next generation. The water's been good to me, and I want to be good to the water. And I want everybody else to be good to it. So that's all I got to say about that.